Hey guys, it's Bennett. I'm back with that small PSA submission that I mentioned in my last video. We are currently, I think it's 3 days before Christmas. I hope everybody's ready, and we're in the midst of Hanukkah. So I hope everybody out there who celebrates Hanukkah is getting, I guess it would be gift 4 tonight. And I hope that oil is still burning bright. This submission is blind to me like a lot of the rest. It is out of its outer box. Here is the box that I was sent back from PSA. I got an upcharge on one card in this order. It was a decent sized upcharge, but I don't think big enough to get me the grade I'm hoping for. And we'll talk about that in a second. There are only 6 cards in this submission. We're going to go through them relatively quickly. And I'm going to pause a little bit on the one grade that I'm referencing so that we can have a small little conversation about PSA and about how they do their grading. Before we get into this, if you guys would like to, please hit the subscribe button. I'll ask you to reserve judgment on hitting the like button until you see this video to the end. And drop me a comment, please. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know what's going on. And let me know your thoughts on these grading companies and how they make certain decisions and what you think their process is. And at the end of this, I have a very, very special guest who's going to join me, who's a representative of PSA that I think might be able to give us some insight into the way the PSA grades and the way they do things. So please stick around till the end of this video so you can see that conversation. Okay, without any further ado, let's get into it. We'll open this up, off the top, pull these out, get them out of the bubble wrap, and we'll keep them down so that we can take a look at it. Like I said, it's a small submission. Let's see what we got. All right, this is a Barry Sanders rookie. Got a 9. All right. They tend to 10 these cards when they are right, so I'm guessing there's something wrong with this card, although it looked pretty good to me. We got a Barry 9. There's Favre. I sent this in before he decided to defraud the state of Mississippi and steal money from the poor to divert it to the stadium, I guess, to building a stadium. I don't know what the hell he was doing, but there was some scandal involving Favre and welfare money, funds that he had I don't know, he'd been involved in misappropriating. And it got an 8. This was pack fresh. It looks pretty good. Again, in a 10, this card had some value. In an 8, it has very little. But after what Favre has done of late, it's going to take some time for this to come back anyway. This is considered his his rookie card because it's his first card in a Packers uniform. There is a card that exists of him in his Falcons uniform, who he's drafted by, but this is widely considered to be his rookie. So anyway, there's Favre. This was a card that was given to me sort of as a joke. I live in New York, and I have some experience with this gentleman going back many, many years, long before he was miraculously voted President of the United States. So I got this one graded, and it got an 8. This was a Playboy trading card set from the 90s. That they reproduced the covers in these in this style, and this was the one with Trump on it. So got an 8. These are really tough to grade because of the gold foil. I just think this is a fun card to have, so put that down. This is out of 77 cloth, Topps cloth. These cards were really cool. There wasn't a big set, and they only had really stars in them. But this Carlton looked particularly good. So I was, I rolled the dice and thought maybe I could get a really high grade. I see here it's off center, right to left. But let's see how we did. We got a 9. These cards are really hard to 10. They're almost impossible to 10. But this 9 was pretty cool, these cloth stickers. Anyway, I'm happy with the 9. I'm happy to have that card. Lefty was an absolute beast on the mound. This is a Topps Gretzky rookie that was in really, really bad condition. You'll see when I turn it over on the front side. The back actually doesn't look that bad, but this card wasn't in very good condition at all. It has a crease down the middle. That'll be evident when I turn it over. So, I'm just hoping this got a 1 or a 2. It was the kind of thing, this was at the bottom of a drawer that I had found. And anytime, it's Gretzky, so I'm going to slab it up. Got a 1. All right. Got a 1. I mean, it actually, when you look at it, it's hard to see on camera, but there is a big crease right down the middle of this card. That's, I guess, kind of hard to pick up here. And, the edges and the corners are well loved. I mean, I've seen worse examples of Gretzky, of this card, get a 2 and even a 3, which leads me to, the objectivity, the subjectivity when you're dealing with grading companies and who the grader was, and their sort of discretion on how they see these cards. Now, that brings us to the last card in this submission, which is really what this video is about, and that is a 1981 Joe Montana rookie. Now, this card looked very, very good. It may look like it's a bit off this way, but that's just how these cards were printed. They did have a bigger border, they tended to, on the top than the bottom. This card got an upcharge, like I said. I don't think it's big enough to get me a 10, but I'm hopeful that it's a 9. I'm fairly certain it will be because of what the upcharge was. Let's take a look at it. There you go. That's a nice card. That's a really nice card. As you can see, the corners on this are pretty much perfect. The edges look good. The centering is spot on. It's bang on, dead nut center. This is a beautiful card and is a great card to have. It's funny that this card doesn't have more value in this grade. This card probably sells somewhere around $2,000 in this grade. Now a 10 bumps the value on this card north of $50,000 or $60,000. In the boom, it was well over $100,000. So that's sort of what I wanted to talk to you about was, what do you imagine the process is when PSA, let's say a grader sits down with a card like this, right? And they say, oh, I think this is a 10. Do you think they have the ability or the autonomy to just grade this a 10, put the label on, slap it in a holder, and send it back? Or do you think they have to meet with somebody, or they have to, send an email and say, hey, I think I have a 10. I have a Montana 10. Can you please come take a look at it? Are there steps they have to take before they're allowed to give this grade or give this card a 10? I imagine there is. I imagine they artificially control the pop counts. I think anybody who's been in this hobby for a little bit of time now would assume that they artificially control the pop counts, because you'll look at cards that you swear are 10s that get 9s, and you look at 9s that should be 10s, and it's just, I'm assuming that they do control this artificially. So what I did was I reached out to PSA and I asked them if they would send me somebody to answer a couple of questions that maybe we could get a little more clarity on whether or not, or what their process is when they're thinking about giving a card like this a 10 rather than a 9. Anyway, the 9 is really cool. So I'm going to put this to the side, and I'm going to bring this gentleman in. If you can come, just come on camera. Come on camera. Okay. All right. Now I want to ask you a few. Well, you're already saying yes. I want to ask you a few questions. Are you required to reach out to somebody within PSA if you want to give a card like, let's say, this Joe Montana a 10? Yes, you are. Okay, that's good to know. So now we have confirmation from somebody high up in PSA that that they can't just, give somebody a 10 if they want to. Let me ask you another question. Do you artificially control population counts at PSA so that PSA sort of remains the gold standard of grading? You do. Okay, well, there you go. Folks, there you have it. That's two pretty firm answers on how PSA functions. Let me ask you one more question before you go. And this is unrelated to the grading at PSA. Do you find it difficult on a particularly cloudy night to... Nah, I'm just kidding, guys. I won't keep going with that. But there's Rudolph. There's our little Christmas tree. Again, happy holidays to everybody. Please, if you're so inclined, subscribe to the channel. Please hit the like button and drop me a comment. And this will be my last video before we hit the Christmas weekend and the Christmas holiday. So I hope everybody has a lovely, lovely holiday, and I wish everybody the best, and I'll see you soon.